All right, now we move to the Argentinian, and this is the latest one, which hasn't even really gotten started yet. I mean, it has been announced officially. It has been created, but I don't think has really been set up yet, but it's in the process. And Commodore Tealdi, who you see here, being interviewed by this TV reporter, Tamara Hendel, who broke the story original. And I'll just read you a little bit what it says. Comodoro Tealdi acknowledged the power of average citizens who lobbied the Air Force and the Ministry of Defense, admitting that the commission was created in part because of the messages sent by people to the institutional webpage of the agency and by requests from the Ministry of Defense that came from the same source, the people. So in other words, this is an example of exopolitics at work. This shows that exopolitics can work when it's done properly. When you don't, I think sometimes exopolitics doesn't work if you start making outrageous claims or big claims that you cannot back up. But if you have a targeted goal, which is doable, and you stick by it, it can work. It's not going to work always, but this is an example where it did work. Now, I don't think this was the only factor. Obviously, the other factor was that Argentina was, and the Argentinians, believe me, I've had many friends, they think highly of themselves. And so the fact that all these other countries, all over around them, they're sort of rivals with Chile, with Brazil, with Uruguay, and all these other countries have UFO agencies and they don't, doesn't look too good, right? So that was the other factor. They had agencies, of course, in the 50s even, 50s and 60s. Actually, it was the Navy, the Argentinian Navy, that had a commission in the late 50s and through 60s. I did publish some articles in our webpage, which you can check about that. So, but obviously the public pressure also did play a factor. All right? And, oh, well, just briefly, I wish that commission would have been working when this case happened. And probably many of you remembered the case of a blackout in this town called Joaquin Gonzalez in Salta province. I discussed it in Coast to Coast at the time because it was a very interesting case of a UFO sighting with electromagnetic effect, but specifically connected to a power blackout. Now, there have been many reports where it is alleged that after UFO sighting there was a power blackout, but normally the connection is not very tight, you know. It's just, yeah, it coincides that, you know, okay, the UFO was here and then there was a blackout, but you rarely have a witness who can actually see the thing as it happens. In this case, we did. So that's what set this case apart. It was also seen by lots of people, even though it's a small town. Here you see it from the Google satellite photos. I think it probably has like 10,000 people or something like that, the whole town. Here's some of the eyewitness drawings. It was basically a cigar shape. This is Mercedes Casas, who is an Argentinian ufologist from Salta province. This is a province in the border of Argentina and Bolivia, northwest, basically. And this is a video or a cell photo, we're not sure. She could not really totally validate this photo. It appeared in all the web stories about this case, but no, she was not able, at least the last time I spoke to her, to really locate whoever took it or whatever. So it may be a photo that is not even related, but it was in a lot of the stories at the time it was published. But these drawings certainly are eyewitnesses. It was at night. I believe it was like at around 11 p.m. or something. It was near midnight, but it was very hot. It was in the summer, and there were a lot of people outside having lemonade or a beer or whatever when this large cigar-shaped object just hovered around town. So it was seen by about half the population. It was a mass sighting. It was not a huge city, so it was not like the Phoenix Lights, but nevertheless, for a small town, everybody saw it, or just about whoever wasn't sleeping saw it. Because people start calling, you know, their wife or whatever, hey, come see. The thing was there for a long time, so that's why a lot of people saw it. But the cameras weren't working, So all the cell camera, apparently there was a strong electromagnetic effect, it wasn't working.